Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances always to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances always to Srila Prabhupada. All goes to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining.
Okay, hang on.
Thank you so much for joining. Today, Guru Maharaj will continue with the topic of process of devotional service, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 22nd chapter and 144 verse onwards. Guru Maharaj, I'll just start sharing my screen.
Okay.
You can please take over, Guru Maharaj. Yeah, thank you.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya, Gaur Bhaktavinda, Swapadam Mulam Bhajatam Priyasyam, Tvaktanya Bhavasya Hari Parisaha, Vikramayat Chaupatitam Katachit, Dunoti Sarvam Vridisani Vistaha. Translation. One who has given up everything and taking full shelter at the lotus feet of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is very dear to Krishna. If he is involved in some sinful activity by accident, the Supreme Personality of God, who is seated within every one's heart, removes his sin without difficulty. Very relevant verse. Very relevant verse. It's not Omagyantimidandasya Gena Jana Salakaya Chaksum Militam Yena Tasmai Shivave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitan Yena Bhutale Swayamrupa Kadam Mayam Dadanti Swam Padantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namune Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya Resatarine Vanchakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Titanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So this verse is of prime importance. In certain traditions, if someone commits a sinful activity, according to their adopted rules, the person is condemned and ostracized. But here it says, if someone commits some sinful activity by accident, accident could also mean by circumstance, finding oneself in a circumstance which is awkward and not acting properly, acting sinfully. Obviously, there is some reaction to that, but it says that Krishna is in the heart, knowing that the devotee is sincere, but by situation or by accident, one has committed a sinful activity. As it says, Kontiya pratijanihi name bhakti pranasyati. My devotee is righteous because they're engaged in devotional service. So this verse confirms many of the statements in the Shastras, especially in the Shrutis, where it's mentioned that even if one commits the most abominable type of activity, if one again gives up that activity and performs devotional service and becomes situated in regular devotional service, they should be seen in that way. Jagai and Madhya were given special mercy by Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. They had committed the most abominable activities, not by accident, but by purpose. But when they received the mercy of the Lord and became repentant for their sinful activities and took to the devotional service of the Lord, Lord Chaitanya said they should be seen in that way and not according to their previous activity. So, and of course, this verse really, the Krishna is in the heart. He removes his sins without difficulty because the devotee is sincere. Sometimes due to satisfying popular opinion, we punish a person for something they've done and destroy their reputation as a devotee and take away their privileges in Krishna consciousness, their activities. I've seen this over and over again, and it's happening right now within our society. And it seems to me to be something of a deviation from the actual scriptures. If something is done in the past and one makes proper retribution for it, and that has to be done, and becomes repentant, and at the same time re-enters into devotional service, then they should be seen not like what they had done, but what they are doing now. And that is our protocol. That is the way we deal with these situations. Not like some traditions, they say, you commit a sin, you're condemned eternally, and you stay in hell eternally, and you boil in hellish life eternally. This is not the all good, supreme, merciful personality of Godhead, who knows that the living entity is faulty in the material world, and any time they can make a mistake or commit a sinful activity. And that happens even with great devotees. But if somehow or other they do the retribution, and at the same time, can you hear me, Srimati?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, we can hear you.
I got a thing from Swaha saying she can't hear me.
Yeah, you are talking little low, Guru Maharaj. If you can be a little louder, that will be better.
Okay.
But overall, we are able to hear.
All right, I'll try to talk louder. And so this verse is very fundamental in giving the understanding of how to deal with such activity. And the devotee is righteous if they pick up, engage again in devotional service. And there's many examples in Shastras, and there are examples in the present day activities of devotional life. Next verse, Jnana Vairagari Bhaktira Kavonari Anga Ahimsa Niyamari Bule Krishna Bhanga Bhakta Sangha. The path of speculative knowledge and renunciation is not essential for devotional service. Indeed, good qualities such as nonviolence and control of the mind and sense automatically accompany a devotee of Lord Krishna. Purport: sometimes a neophyte devotee, an ordinary person, thinks highly of speculative knowledge, austerity, penances, and renunciation, thinking them the only path for advancement in devotional service. Actually, this is not a fact. The path of knowledge, mystic yoga, and renunciation has nothing to do with the pure soul. When one is temporarily in the material world, such processes may help a little, but they're not necessary for a pure devotee of Krishna. In the material world, such activities end in material enjoyment or merging into the effulgence of the Supreme Lord. They have nothing to do with the eternal loving service of the Lord. If one abandons speculative knowledge and simply engages in devotional service, he has attained his perfection. The devotee has no need for speculative knowledge, pious activities, or mystic yoga. All these are automatically present when one renders the Lord transcendental service. So this verse is very significant to understand the supreme position of devotional service. Ayabila Sita Sunya Jnana Karmananavritam Anukulena Krishna Silanam Bhakti Uttamam. That Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has carefully enunciated the actual definition of pure devotional service. After studying devotional service, he has given the understanding that devotional service must be free from speculative philosophical knowledge, free from the desire to enjoy the results of one's activities, must be for Krishna, and it has to be intended for Krishna. It has to please Krishna, and it has to be intended to please Krishna. That is pure devotional service. Devotional service is not dependent on any of these other forms of spiritual practice, austerities, penances, renunciation, or philosophical speculation on the absolute truth. And Prabhupada said such activities can, and again, force one to come back to material enjoyment because there's no taste in these things. What kind of taste do you get from performing austerities and penances and speculative knowledge? There's no taste. As Prabhupada says, he says they may temporarily help, which means they may raise one from a lower material situation to a higher or better material situation, but they cannot bring one, they cannot give one devotional service. Devotional service is about serving the Lord with a desire to please the Lord. Anyone can do that at any time. These other things detach us temporarily from material activities. As it says that in the very beginning of devotional service, a little bit of philosophical knowledge and renunciation is necessary to get a foothold. But once one is situated in devotional service, then knowledge and renunciation automatically come. As it says here in the last line of the purport, they are automatically present when one renders the Lord transcendental loving service. So the most important thing in order to gain transcendental loving service is to hear about Krishna. It's not a great effort to hear about Krishna. We just have to make time and develop a regulated program of hearing about Krishna. The more we hear about Krishna, because Krishna is all attractive, all his qualities are attractive, his names are attractive, his forms are attractive, his pastimes are especially attractive. When we develop a taste to hear about these things, or if we simply practice hearing about these things, we will start to want to serve Krishna. Not because we're supposed to, but because we have a genuine desire to serve the Lord. And that genuine desire is the nature of the soul's existence. It's automatic that the soul wants to serve the Lord. But because of our association with material energy, that spontaneously attraction to Krishna's service is covered by the material energy. But the process is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smarnam, to hear about Krishna more and more, to speak about Krishna also, and to remember Krishna. If we perform these three activities, hearing, speaking about Krishna, and remembering Krishna, then our attraction for Krishna will spontaneously awaken, and one will develop a taste to serve the Lord. One will look forward to serving the Lord. One will become unhappy if they find themselves unable to serve the Lord, or somehow or other their service is not available. So this is the quality of a devotee when they have sufficiently heard and chanted the glories of the Lord. This is the process. What happens when people perform austerities and penances and artificial forms of renunciation is that even while one is engaged in devotional service, if one develops a taste for these things, one can become hard-hearted. And also that can also lead one to feeling proud in one's own execution of devotional service. So the process of devotional service is free from all of these external things because it's spontaneously attracted to Krishna. So we sometimes see a devotee who performs a lot of austerity. They become a little harsh or even hard-hearted, or a little bit, they start to think that they are better than other devotees because they're performing austerities. Just like Srila Prabhupada introduced Ekadasi. Now there's 5 ways to follow Ekadasi. And the most, pure way is to fast from everything, including water and food on that day. And then there are lesser austerities. But Prabhupada has made it so easy that he said no grains, no beans on that day, and spending extra time hearing and chanting. So a devotee who may be fasting the whole day completely and not even taking water may start to see other devotees taking food on that day, and they think, just see, they're just sense gratifiers. And he thinks himself more advanced because he's fasting. That's an indication of this hard-heartedness or this pride that comes by unnecessary austerity. So we should follow the principle that makes up the recommended austerities. These are mentioned nicely in the Bhagavad Gita. And if we do follow these simple rules and regulations, then and focus our attention on hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, everything becomes easy and joyful. Okay, so these are some points. We can go on to the next verse. Tasmad bhakti utasya yoginam va manatmanaha najanam na cha vairagyam preyo sreyo bhavat iva. For one who is fully engaged in my devotional service, whose mind is fixed on me in Bhakti Yoga, the path of speculative knowledge and dry renunciation is not very beneficial. Purport: the path of devotional service is always independent of other activity. The path of speculative knowledge and mystic yogi may be a little beneficial in the beginning, but it cannot be considered part of devotional service. This verse was spoken by Lord Krishna when he was speaking to Uddhava before his departure from this material world. These are important instructions given by Krishna directly. Sri Uddhava asked the Lord about the two kinds of instructions given in the Vedas, Pravritti Marg and Nivritti Marg. These are directions for enjoying material nature, world according to regular principles, and then giving up material world for higher spiritual understandings. Sometimes one does not know whether to practice speculative knowledge or mystic yoga for advancement in spiritual knowledge. Lord Krishna explains to you that the mechanical process of speculative knowledge and yoga is not necessary for advancement in devotional service. Devotional service is completely spiritual, has nothing to do with these material things. It is awakened by hearing and chanting in the association of devotees. Because devotional service is always transcendental, it has nothing to do with material activities. So here we see it's awakened by hearing and chanting in the association of devotees. And then that's the awakening process, but then the development process is the same as the awakening process. We continue to hear and chant the glories of the Lord. So we have our rounds that we chant every day, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. But Srila Prabhupada has given us so many books. Along with that, there are many other medias that glorify the Lord in his different activities. So if we follow this process of developing a taste for hearing, then we will become happy in devotional service, because this hearing process goes directly into the heart, awakens the soul to devotional service to the Lord. It has nothing to do with material activities. And all of these other things are not fundamental, but they may get one free from some material attachments, but they're not spiritual and they're not needed for advancement in devotional service. Of course, when we give initiation, we ask people to follow the four regulative principles: no illicit sex, no intoxication, no meat eating, and no gambling. So here, this is an austerity, especially in Kali Yuga, where these things are quite prominent and people become popular materially by developing and cultivating and perfecting these activities. One becomes famous if they can become expert in these sinful activities. So this is Kali Yuga. It's an ocean of so many disqualifications by the living entity. But if one develops somehow, now how does that awakening of hearing and chanting that's mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, where it says, Shushusha Sharadanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Shanvaya Pidveva Pipra Purnya Tirthanak Sevanat, that by serving great souls, great service is done, and by such service, one develops an affinity to hear the message of Vasudeva. That's from the Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 2, verse number 16. Shushusha Saradanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Sanmaya Seva Vipra Purnya Tirthana Sevana. Serving great souls, that's great service. And by doing that and pleasing such great souls, then you get attracted. You want to hear and chant the glories of the Lord. So here's the key. Seek out the association and seek out the service of advanced devotees. And by doing that, your desire to hear and chant the glories of the Lord will become stronger and stronger. Now, even if you find you're not able to find that type of association and service, then just continue to hear. Even if it's done in a mechanical way, still, because it's the right process, it will act, it will bring results. So practice this process of hearing and chanting more and more. And then gradually, we develop a taste. Ruchi is needed in order to get fixed in devotional service. Okay, so we'll stop there and see if there's any comments or questions.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, thank you so much for the nice class. Thank you so much on explaining the importance of devotional service, which is the supreme activity. Thank you so much, Guru
You have
Maharaj.
to get attracted to Krishna. And the way to get attracted to Krishna is hear and chant his glories.
So, dear devotees, if you have any questions or comments or realizations, please go ahead and please turn on your cameras. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Kuspo, are you there? I see your name.
Yes, Maharaj, I'm here.
I was just with the family just now.
I know. I just spoke to them and they said I actually had called at that time, but you were talking, so I didn't want to disturb.
I wanted you to come so bad.
I know. I think Krishna had different plans, so we had to just accept those. Yes. So Hare Krishna.
It's Tulsi, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess they'll fill you in on all the details. It was a very wonderful ceremony. We did the immersion of the ashes of Janaki Nath yesterday, along with the former president of Bhaktivedanta Manor, Shruti Dharma Prabhu. Both of them were good friends, and both of them received the same ceremony on the same day. It was very auspicious.
We watched it live. It was broadcasted live, so we were watching.
Good.
Yeah. Maharaj, I will write to you soon, but just on something that you said, that even if our sadhana is mechanical, that we should still continue to do it. But what about those blockages that we have that stops us from even doing something mechanical, and we can't pinpoint on what that blockage is? What how do we find inspiration? Or I don't know if that made sense.
Well, the accident, the blockages is that we're just conditioned in another way. To change our direction in life, to overcome these blockages, it can happen by good association. That will help to give us an insight on how to move forward towards performing the activities. But another way is, which is a little bit harder, but it also works, is just force yourself. When we force ourselves in devotional service, it's not unnatural, because devotional service is the natural constitutional position of the living entity. To be in the material world is an anomaly. It's an anachronism. It's foreign to our nature. Due to our association with material energy, it appears to be more natural and more part of our activities. But we know that's not true, but it just appears that way. Therefore, in order to bring you back to the right activity, sometimes we just have to know what to do and just do it. It becomes easier when we have association, then we get the inspiration. That happens automatically in devotee association. But if you can't find that association, or the association is not strong enough or not often enough, then you just have to force yourself to do it. There's an old saying in the material world, they say, just do it. Yeah. Even if you don't feel like it, but if you know it's right, do it anyway. And because it is your nature, after a while, when you practice forcing yourself, it becomes more easier. We're conditioned entities. We get conditioned in a certain way. And our condition changes according to how we direct our consciousness. It's easy to change our conditioning from one day to another simply by how we perform our activities. But our conditioned nature, our material nature, is very strong because it's long term. Whereas our spiritual nature, even though it's more long term, it's hidden. It's not so easy to see it or understand it. Therefore, the instructions are directions by which we can overcome our material tendencies. So I might find it difficulty, but it doesn't matter because it's the right thing. I'm going to do it anyway.
Thank you, Maharaj. I think I just needed to hear that from you. So I'll take it as a literal instruction to force myself.
And then I'll come and see you and tell you again in person.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Looking forward to having you here and to serving you again.
I'm coming to London in April, so I'll be there.
Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Nice to see you, and nice to be with the family. It was just a nice, pleasant experience.
I just spoke to Jankinath's father, and he was so ecstatic. You know, that you know, the opportunity that they get to spend time with you, they feel so blessed. And your association with the whole family it leaves such deep impressions, you know, on all of them. So thank you so much for this service that you're doing for us. So thank you. We cannot.
But it's actually, it's all Janakinath's mercy. He's pulling everybody together. That's not just some euphemism I'm making up. He's arranging for all the devotees to come together.
Yes, we absolutely. You know, I've been reflecting that a lot of the family members that are there in Mayapur right now, they would never have come to Mayapur. You know, they're not practicing devotees, so it would never have occurred, or they would have never planned to come to Mayapur. But because of Jankinath, you know, he's arranged for all of them to come and to appreciate and to get this special mercy. And you know, in the Bhagavatam, when Prahlad Maharaj is praying and talking about his you know, trying to save his father, and the benediction that he gets, that will be 21 generations that will be liberated. You know, we feel that all the doors are opening for us to you know, to get to that stage. It's just a matter of us taking it, but we feel the special mercy, sincerely.
It's working, and the Dham has a lot of influence.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Kuspo. Hare Krishna. Anyone else? No question. Namrata, I'll be in Bombay on the 17th, 18th, 19th. So we can meet one day.
Oh, yes, surely. Definitely. I'll be there. Definitely.
If you can come to Chowpatty on the 18th for Gaur Purnima, that would be nice.
Yes, Maharaj. I've talked to my mentor as well. She was telling that she might accompany me. So I'll come with her.
Good, good. That's the most auspicious time of the year, is Lord Chaitanya's appearance.
Yes, Maharaj. I'm looking forward to it. Very much excited.
I hope to see you.
Yes, Maharaj. Sure.
Thank you.
Awaiting for your,
Yes, go ahead.
awaiting for your lecture as well on Gaur Purnima.
Yeah, it's going to be something that will be a great challenge for me. Let's see. And Dheeraj, he's coming to Mayapur in a couple of days, right?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, good. I knew if I went to India, so many wonderful things would happen.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, we look forward. You're coming on the 11th, right?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. On 11th, Guru Maharaj. I'm coming.
11th through the 14th is Kirtan Mela.
Yes, I'm staying there for till 15th, Maharaj.
Good. They're going to have Kirtan throughout the whole day from 10 o'clock in the morning to probably 10 o'clock in the evening.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Can't come in at any better time.
Yes, Maharaj.
Hey.
Vrindavan Prabhuji, you have a question.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All
Glories to
glories to
Srila
Srila
Prabhupada, Vrindavanath Ji.
Guru Maharaj, Hari Bol. Guru Maharaj, I like this topic is really, really interesting because this came somehow in one of the home satsang which we do here. And one Mataji, she started, like she was not in Krishna consciousness, and we started doing this few home satsangs there. So we started saying that, yes, like you don't need to do anything, just add Krishna in your life. Nothing, just add Krishna. Yeah, because she was in like eating all variety of food, everything, like whatever we call. Yeah, so all this. So, and then after a few months, we focused that please try to follow these 4 basic principles. They are the basic human regulative principles. Then after we asked for chanting, then Ekadashi Vrat, she started doing all this. But she asked, like her family asked one question that you asked 1 year back, there is no austerity, much austerity, it just need to add Krishna. But now my mother actually on too much austerity path, like she started doing this. And you always, when you meet, you always add one more thing on top of that. Yet now do this, now do this, now do this, because you have been doing so successfully. So his question was, her son question was that why you say this is not austerity? And I explained in my way, Guru Maharaj, but I would like to hear from you, please. Like for somebody, it can be seen as a very high austerity, but for many of devotee, it may look like basics, regulative principles.
Well, there are recommended austerities, and there's austerities of the body, austerities of the mind, and austerities of speech. These are all mentioned in the 17th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna lists them, and then Prabhupada explains them. So these are in line with developing the quality of the mode of goodness, which is the foundation for the practice of Krishna consciousness. One cannot practice Krishna consciousness if one is still committing sinful activities. So certain austerities are recommended as a way to remove the effects remove the desire to perform these sinful activities. So we say no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. And if one is performing these, because they are in the modes of passion and ignorance, and they have a very direct reaction in a negative way upon the person and along with other people, they are contrary to devotional service. So giving them up is an austerity at the beginning, but as you perform devotional service, you don't even look towards these anymore. They become easy, become natural. So what appears to be an austerity is just a foothold in devotional service at the beginning, and then later on, it becomes a part of devotional service and no longer an austerity. It's just natural. But for someone who's not doing it, they think, oh, this is a great austerity, because they have no understanding of devotional service or the benefits of devotional service. It's like if a person wants to go to college and he wants to get a degree, he might have to stop going out on social life, going to parties and associating with his friends, and spend more time in studying his books and getting ready for the exams. That's an austerity, but it's necessary in order to get good marks in the exam. So in the same way, it's necessary to give up certain activities which are contrary to our progress in devotional service, and those are mentioned. And then the recommended positive aspect of austerities, what we should do, sometimes appears to be contrary to the ways of the world, and they are. Just like it says, one should speak truthfully and beneficially and avoid speech that offends. That's called austerity of speech. So if one is speaking sophistry or lies, which goes on in this material world all the time, and that is accepted as normal, then how can one perform devotional service? Said one should worship, one should worship the spiritual master and the seniors. So that's an austerity. Worshipping them means to get the mercy of Krishna because they are connected with Krishna directly. So what appears to be an austerity from one point of view is just a way of devotional service in another. That's all. But one who is not in devotional service will see everything as an austerity because they have no idea what devotional service is, or who Krishna is, or what is the benefit of worshiping Krishna. So when outside people find fault, they have no basis because they have no idea of what is devotional service. Only when they become a little pious and somehow or other become fortunate to meet an advanced devotee of the Lord, then they can start to realize the benefit of devotional service. Unless they come to that, the association of a great soul, generally they remain on the speculative platform.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Yeah, that's quite helpful.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare
Namrata Mataji, you want to go ahead?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the Mayapur Gam. Maharaj, I wanted to ask about my grandmother. My grandmother is right now. She's hospitalized, and she's almost 89 years old, and she has been struggling with her bodily problems from 40 to 45 years. I think she wouldn't have stepped out of her house from like 35 40 years. She hardly goes out. She's not able to walk and all. So now her bodily issues have increased a lot. So anytime she can give up her body. So what is the last things I can give to her at this time? She right now what she's totally her body is going on her willpower. That's it. And with the mercy of Krishna, that's it.
Well, if it's coming towards the time where she's about to leave, then you create an environment where she is. You can put pictures of Prabhupada and Krishna all around the room. You can play Prabhupada's japa tape. You can bring Tulsi leaves and Ganges water and give it to her also. All these are recommended items to help the departed soul get the mercy of the Lord at the time of departure. Especially hearing, you can play Prabhupada's bhajans or play Prabhupada's japa tape, like that. In the hospital, it's really hard to do all that because of the hospital.
Maharaj, if she's hardly able to hear anything, still can I play the tape?
Yeah, because the hearing comes on different levels. Even the vibration is there. There is effects from the vibration. Spiritual vibrations, even if it's not, what we say, audible, it has an effect. Give her Tulsi leaves and Ganges water. That's also important.
Yes. I think, Sridhar Mataji told me some Ganga Jal and Tulsi leaf. I tried to keep, at regular intervals in her mouth.
If you can take her out of the hospital, it's the best thing. Because hospitals, they're just places where you die anyway. That's all.
Yes, Maharaj.
I don't like hospitals at all. I don't have any faith in them. It's just a miserable place.
Actually, she is also not at all comfortable in the hospital, and her body issues are adding to it. But
better if she's around people. Better if she's around people who are friends and family members. If you keep her at home, it's easier for them to come and see and stay with her. Then she'll feel a little bit more peaceful. I mean, the doctors may be able to give medicine and all that, but what are they doing? They're just prolonging her life for a few days, that's all.
yes,
It's the love that counts. It's not so much the medical expertise.
she sings kirtans also. I used to talk to her on video call. So she says the kirtans you taught me, I'm singing here. So it's nice to hear that she's singing the kirtans.
Good, good, good. Yeah, that means she's on her way.
Yes, Maharaj. She's a very dedicated Vaishnava, I can say. She
Yeah,
might be not the she might be not in the lineage, but very humble person. Very, I would have hardly, in fact, I have never seen her getting angry in my entire life till now, till the date. She's very humble. She's very forgiving. I
yeah,
haven't
that
seen.
yeah, those good qualities make it easier for Krishna's mercies to flow.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, keep her around people who love her and not people who are being paid to take care of her.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you. I'll do that.
Unless you can bring her to Bhakti, if you bring her to Bhakti Vedanta Hospital, and then that's different.
But she's at Surat, Maharaj. I
Huh?
think it's better. She's at Surat, Maharaj.
She's in Surat.
She's
Oh, okay.
Gujarat. Yeah. So it's better, to take her home and give her the, this Krishna conscious atmosphere over there in at home.
Yeah,
So we'll do that.
that's nice.
Thank you, Maharaj.
It'll be easier for her to remember Krishna then.
Yes, Maharaj. I give her. I send her darshan of the deities as well. She likes them.
Best wishes.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Devotees, any more questions or comments? Sridevi Mataji, I saw your hand raised previously. You want to go ahead and ask anything?
Thank you, Srimati. Please accept my humble obeisances, dear Guru Maharaj. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Glories to you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you for reminding us how important it is to hear and chant in the association of devotees and how it actually propels us more in our devotional life. I really want to take advantage of the being in the holy dham, and I want to associate with devotees, and I want to increase my devotional activities. But most of the ladies here, I find, are very busy in deity worship or making garlands or doing something related or in the kitchen. And my service is entirely different. I'm offering therapy to devotees, I'm doing counseling to devotees. And there is, I don't know whom to associate with or to sort of come up with to do this service nicely so that more people can get benefited. And I also get association of like-minded counselors and therapists and form a team to offer this seva. So do you have any suggestions for me? So I'm not feeling so like a lone ranger here. Srimati, are you able to hear anything? I cannot hear anything from Guru Maharaj.
Yes, Mataji, even I was thinking, Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think Guru Maharaj left the call and he, maybe internet connection or no, he's there. Guru Maharaj is there. Guru Maharaj, you are muted, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, we just lost the.
Yeah.
No, I'm unmuted on my. No more. I'm unmuted.
Yes,
You
Guru
hear
Maharaj.
me?
Now I can hear you. Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Well, you know what to do, Sri Devi.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Get up early, go for Mangalarati and stop complaining.
Yeah, exactly. You know what to do.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, I do know what to do. I think just a little temporary, setback due to the illness. I think I'll just get back into the routine and everything will be okay.
Yeah, once you do your service, everything will become clear. Okay, so we're at the 1 hour mark.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
So we'll say good night. And well, for me, it's good night. Not, for some of you, it's good morning. Others, it's good day. But we'll see you tomorrow. As far as I can see, I should be able to do every day the class. Unless something comes up, I'll give notice ahead of time. But I should be able to do it every day.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yeah, thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. I just have one question, Guru Maharaj. Like this Sunday for us in US, the time will change, Guru Maharaj. Daylight savings. I just want to inform devotees about that. I think that will be 1 hour before, so I don't know.
So the
I'll
clock
go
goes
through.
forward for 1
Yes.
hour.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't affect UK time, does it? No.
No, Guru Maharaj.
So it'll be from UK time to India is still 5.5 hours, right?
Yeah, I have to figure it out, Guru Maharaj. I always get confused with this time change. I'll just figure it out and I'll put a message in the groups.
Yeah, don't worry. The material world is meant to confuse you. That's why
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
it's designed like that. Okay, so thank you, my obeisances to all the devotees.
Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada ki
Hare
jai.
Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj and Krishna.
Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.
Thank you,
Thank
Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Ramarani.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.